Going on, everybody? Neo Synapse, and you are inside the Synaptic. Been a while, but let's get right into it. Let's talk about Game Update 41 is today. In the next 25 minutes, the world will go down. That's 5:30 a.m. Pacific, 8:30 a.m. Eastern for Game Update 41. It is to last roughly 6 hours, right? So let's get right into it. What's in Game Update 41? A lot. A lot of changes. Interesting. Um, we'll see how the community reacts to this. This is pretty big. It's going to change the face of PvP. Um, I don't know how it's going to be received by the majority of the community, but we will see. We will see. Right. So what is in this update? Let's see here. The Halloween seasonal is back. They've decked out the vault, and you'll be able to get some new trinkets and base items and things like that. I believe there's a new Boo trinket that you might want to get your hands on. So we will see how that rocks. Survival mode is back, Trigon themed. 20 rounds this time, up from 10 the last time. Congratulations again to Select Few, who was able to beat survival mode the last time. Let's see how well they and all of you guys can do with this 20 round version. It's going to be the same deal. Themed shirts every other round 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. The platinum will be given around 10. It's going to be Trigon themed shirts. They did a live stream and showed the shirts. They look pretty cool. I'm not a fan of the around the forearm area. Like there's some kind of disconnect that's supposed to go with that style or what have you, but I'm not a fan of it. I do like the chest portion of it though. It looks really cool. Um, the rewards after round 10, they haven't said. There are going to be some base items and things like that throughout, but they have not said what the main rewards for, you know, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 will be. So we will see. I do not know if the difficulty level will be the same as the last time, um, from 1 to 10, and then increase going forward, because that sounds absolutely ridiculous. But we will see. Okay, link death. Link death, another thing people have been clamoring for. When you DC, you're in a raid or an alert or what have you, and you DC, Link Death will allow you to come back with your supercharge into the same group that you were in when you DC'd. You will be able to be kicked, however, between the time when you DC and when you come back. So if your group feels like you weren't up to snuff anyway, they can kick you while you're gone. You can also be hurt while you are down in Link Death. I'm sorry, not while you were down, but while you were disconnected during Link Death. You have 10 minutes to come back, but during that time, before you get back, you can be hurt, but you also can be revived. So that's good. We'll talk a little bit more about that. PvP Season 3 brings two new styles. Gotham Knight, inspired by Nightwing for the heroes, and Vengeful Surgeon, inspired by Hush for the villains. No more soda colas like what we have been accustomed to. It's going to be an infinite soda cola in PvP arenas. You can get that on the PvP vendor, the Watchtower, and the Hall of Doom. There's a PvP stat balance, so if a player is ungeared or undergeared while in a PvP arena, any stat that does not meet the minimum early entry requirements is automatically increased to the minimum based on your current role. So, patrol role, tank role, what have you, if you do not have the appropriate gear on when you enter an arena, you will be brought up to the minimum for whatever role you're in. New Legends, Guy Gardner's coming out today. Kyle Arena was the last one, so it's another Lantern. Trade improvements. There's going to be a forced delay when you want to accept a trade, so that I guess you can check to see if somebody didn't add that extra zero or whatever the case is. So that's good. Armory, that's pretty big. There's an Armory imprint option available now, so that you'll be able to update just certain things. So let's say you only change part of your style, you will be able to update just that on the fly. Let's see. What else have we got here? Loot notification improvements. Um, let's say you're getting loot, but you're in the menu and it's obscured. When you remove the menu, you will see the loot that you got in the HUD. It may be something like how when you get a feat and it pops up at the bottom, it'll be something like that. I'm not sure, but that's what's happening right now. Okay. A bunch of bug fixes as well. Let's see here. Important for Legends, the damage absorption gained when using Catwoman's Smoke Cloud is now properly removed after a number of hits or the 10-second duration is reached. They fixed an issue with Cersei's Captivating Clone's explosion ability. There was an issue with that. But they did increase the cooldown and power cost of Captivating Clone for Cersei there, so watch out. They capped the damage on all reflection abilities to 400. So Wonder Woman, Wonder Girl, Cheetah, Catwoman, those guys, they're not going to be jacking you up just based on their reflection anymore. And they fixed an issue where Saint Walker and Kyle Rayner's lanterns would sometimes show up incorrectly. Anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty. Some details about Link death. Players can still be rallied while Link dead. A player can be attacked while Link dead. Basically, you're still going to be detected as in game for a 10-minute period until you're able to come back. They called it an ungraceful disconnect from the game that results in a 10-minute Link death. Based on network disconnection, power disconnection, PS4 button, then close application, things of that nature. Or there's a 10-second graceful exit. Graceful disconnect from the game results in a 10-second Link death. So if you do something like on PlayStation using disconnect while in combat, then selecting disconnect now, which I suppose is a new thing. If you're in combat while trying to exit the game and you choose to exit the game now, I suppose they're trying to penalize and or help with that. Let's see what else. Core Strength tooltip has been updated to state that your character always gains 10% damage when it is active. Another big thing for me, at least, super speed, the inertial flywheel. The extra horizontal speed boost for super speed users when holding inertial flywheel has been removed when in combat stance. So pretty much just like how Flight can, barely move, like they got rocks tied to their feet, and with Acro you can't use the grappling line. Super speed will no longer be able to get away pretty much as fast as they used to. So it's bringing it more in line with the other two powers. I'm not sure how it looks in practice, but I have been told there's not much of a difference as far as how people normally use it, outside of just trying to run away, right? So let's see what else. Superpower's grounding effect has been normalized to last 3 seconds. Apparently, Cryofoam, Mesmerizing Lasso, Grapple Line Attack, and Tornado Pull. There was an issue with how long it lasted. So a lot of little improvements that they have done here. Mesmerizing Lasso, when used in tank roll, will now taunt a single target and is more powerful than standard tank roll taunts. So you can use that instead of, say, what's is it Fire Burst for fire, or whatever it is for rage. But you can use that, and it's supposed to be more powerful than the single target taunts, or the standard tank roll taunts. EMP Pulse, or Paralyzing Dart. When you get the additional damage using advanced mechanics, will now inflict a block breaker. Celestial Curse and Cleansed Curse will no longer trigger after the first tick of damage if the target is not attacking. Let's see here. So, advanced mechanics burst improvements. For fire, apparently volatility will now be something that you cast upon yourself as opposed to the enemies, because that took forever cast. It was incredible. I have no idea what that was, but thankfully now it is fixed. You cast it on yourself, and you can get to doing the damage faster. Um, Added a lot of knockdown to some of nature, electricity, and light abilities, and light is gaining a power back um, mechanic like electricity and nature. Everything else has. PvP, which is, excuse me, I guess the most important part of this update. Blocking now adds 46,317 toughness. Controller defense debuffs now reduce toughness by 3,800. When you enter a PvP arena, supercharge is now set to 0. When you leave, get it back. So you'll no longer be able to build your supercharge and go into an arena. It will be set to 0, and you'll get it back when you come out if you had it already. Intimidation for gadgets no longer stuns bosses or other players in PvP arena. Let's see. A lot of non-field dot damage durations longer than 5 seconds have been reduced to 5 seconds when used against players. Location-based area effect damage over time effects, such as fields and auras, had their damage reduced and normalized as if they were 5 seconds in duration when used against players. Passive damage effects such as damage reflection and automatic damage from weapon buffs have also been normalized in the same manner when used against players. So this affects things like Smoke Cloud, Blood Curse, Poison Slash, and Bracer Deflection, the legends, Iconics, Amazonian Deflection and Heat Vision, Phase Dodge and Super Speed, Divine Light, Corrupted Retribution, Plague, Cleanse, Plague. I mean, throughout all the powers, everything is getting touched. I think the Earth has the least. Yeah, Debris Field and Totem are the only thing getting touched for Earth, but pretty much they're trying to make it so that, you know, you're not running through everybody with your powers, I suppose. This is pretty big. For Rage, the Berserk Supercharge ability has been reduced in PvP arenas to now echo back 25% of your outgoing damage. That's instead of double. They reduced the amount of healing caused by remorseless recovery in tank role while in PvP arenas. If you want to check out your specific power and what that entails, you can check it out. I'll post a link in the description below so that you can check out the update information. The counter roll mechanic in PvP, for example, controllers beating healers, has been removed. Because of this, the confidence damage buff is no longer applied, and role-specific debuffs have been moved. So those skill point, skill tree debuffs that the players use against their, you know, counterpoint role no longer effective. All right. Shields, you know, like Grandeur and Telekinetic Shield, all those kind of things, now reduce damage by 25% instead of 100% in PvP. PvE gear is now disabled in PvP arenas. A lot of people, including myself, because that's what I was taught, they use some PvE gear in PvP. I guess for the extra stats. No longer possible unless you were talking about the open world. In arenas, it's no longer possible. Infinite Cola, we talked about, you can buy that from the vendors. No more sockets on the gear, except for a prismatic socket that accepts all normally colored stat mods. So all the gear is going to have all the stats that are required for any role, and in order to make the gear a specialty kind of gear, you're gonna have to add whatever colored mod that you want to add in there in the prismatic socket. So if you want to be a DPS, you add mind precision stuff, um, controllers, fight stuff, that kind of thing. Okay. Um, a healer's healing is now strengthened by 25% in PvP arenas instead of 65%. And controllers no longer receive a Vite increase while in PvP arenas. Let's see, what else do we have here? A lot of advanced damage mechanics, changes in PvP. Gadgets users gain interrupt vulnerability when triggering the power restoration mechanic. Same goes for electricity and nature. Um, see, rewards 200 marks of valor and 2 marks of legend for a win. You also have a chance at receiving an additional reward, um, PvP task items, base items, and an exceptional recovery kit. If you lose the match, 100 marks of valor and 1 mark of legend. No additional reward chance. Some bug fixes in Necro and League Hall. The rifle will always fall to the ground if you fired it while in the air. They adjusted the dropped rifle to be properly picked up by the person securing it, and the ice artifact effect will now more reliably trigger its frost effect. When you're using the one-handed ancient Urgrand weapon in Necro, the appearance of the assisting swords will no longer force other pets to disappear. Healing over time effect display, like the little green icon that you get, the heart. They'll no longer be doing that. Uh, Explosive shot mastery and blast will now properly increment the combo counter. Okay, so a lot of changes. I'll be checking out. Guys, let me know what you think. Seems pretty interesting. You know what you think about Guy Gardner, the new PvP changes, the new PvP gear. Man, this is going to be very interesting. We'll see where it goes. We'll see how the community goes. A lot of people went back to school, so it's been really dead. A lot of people have been playing other games as well, more than this game. So we'll see if this has any impact on that. Right? Take it easy. See you next time inside the Synaptic.